Most people think they know how to inspect a used car. They check the paint, they start the engine, maybe they even take it for a quick drive around the block. But after years working as a mechanic, I can tell you something that most buyers don't realize. Some of the biggest problems in used cars are the things that people never check. And missing them can cost thousands of dollars. So in this video, I'm going to show you 10 used car red flags that most people completely miss. I'm a mechanic and this is Car Debrief. Red flag number 1 is a freshly cleaned engine bay. Most buyers see a clean engine and think, wow, this car's really been looked after. But mechanics often see it very differently. A spotless engine can sometimes mean that someone is trying to hide something. Things like oil leaks, coolant leaks, power steering fluid leaks. When the engine is dirty, leaks leave traces, but when everything has just been cleaned, those traces disappear. So if the engine bay looks freshly detailed, take a minute and ask yourself why. Red flag number 2, a warm engine when you arrive. This is one of the oldest tricks in the book. You arrive to inspect the car and the engine is already warm. Why does this matter? Because many engine problems only show up when the engine is cold, on a cold start. Things like timing chain rattle, piston slap, valve lifter noises, or smoke from the exhaust. If the engine is already warm when you arrive, there's a chance that the seller started it earlier to hide those noises. A proper inspection should always start with a cold engine. Red flag number 3, uneven tire wear. Most buyers look at tires and think that there's plenty of tread left. But what matters more is how the tire is worn. Uneven tire wear can indicate suspension problems, worn bushes, alignment issues, or bent suspension components. Sometimes the repair bill can be over $1,000. And here's the important part. Always check the inside edge of the tire because this is where real problems really show up. Red flag number 4 is mismatched panels. Not the panels inside the car, but the outer painted panels. Take a close look at the gaps between the panels on the car, the doors, the bonnet, the fenders, the boot lid. The gaps should all be even all the way around. If one gap is larger than the others, or one panel sits a lot higher than the other, the car may have been involved in an accident. This doesn't automatically make the vehicle bad, but it does mean that you should investigate further. Red flag number 5 is a recently reset trip computer. This is a subtle one that many buyers miss. Look at the trip computer. If it has recently been reset, it could mean that the seller was trying to clear certain information like poor fuel economy or recent fault events. It's not always suspicious, but it is definitely worth asking about. Red flag number 6 is brand new fluids. Fresh oil, fresh coolant, fresh brake fluid. On the surface, it sounds like it's good maintenance, and sometimes it is. But sometimes fluids are changed right before selling a car to hide problems. Fresh oil can hide metal particles or sludge inside the engine. So remember this, a service history is far more important than fresh fluids. Red flag number 7 is recently cleared fault codes. This is hard to detect, but it leaves telltale signs. Modern cars store fault codes in the onboard computers. Even if the check engine light isn't on currently, some sellers will clear those codes before selling the car. This temporarily turns off the light, but once the car is driven again, the faults often return. This is why scanning the car with a proper scan tool is one of the most important things before buying a car. Red flag number 8 is wet carpets. Always check the carpet inside the car. Lift the floor mats and feel the carpet underneath. If it's damp or smells musty, the car could have water leaks, blocked sunroof drains, or even flood damage. Sometimes wet carpets at the driver's and passenger footwells could mean a leaking coolant heater core. Water damage often leads to electrical problems later on, and electrical problems are some of the most frustrating problems to fix. Red flag number 9 is interior wear that doesn't match the mileage. Here's a simple trick that mechanics use all the time. Look at the steering wheel, then look at the odometer. If the car claims low kilometers but the steering wheel is heavily worn, something really doesn't add up. You should also check the pedals, the gear shifter, and also the driver's seat bolsters. These parts reveal how much the vehicle was really used. Red flag number 10 is the seller's behavior. Sometimes the biggest red flag isn't the car, it's the person selling it. Watch for things like rushing you, avoiding questions, refusing inspection from a registered mechanic, or saying that someone else is coming to buy the car soon. These tactics pressure the buyer into making emotional decisions, and a good seller has nothing to hide. The reality is this: most used cars look great in the photos and most sellers sound really convincing. But the difference between a great car and a money pit is often the very fine details. If you know what to look for, you can avoid some of these expensive mistakes. I've made a complete buyer system that has inspection checklists and a negotiation framework that helps you to not get ripped off. So if you're planning to buy a used car, check it out, because cars don't just fail randomly, and neither should your decisions.